Good morning. We are the brownies from Girl Scout Troop 535 who enrolled in the Padma Award class. The Padma Award is the Buddhist Churches of America's introductory class of Buddhism. We will be your chair people this morning. We welcome all Scouts who are here with us for this morning's Scout Sunday service, where we recognize the valuable contributions of young people and adults to Scouting. Will falling Scouts please stand as you are called? Girl Scout Troop 5325 and Cub Pack 79 from Sen's Pongwanji. Boy Scout Troop 764 from the Venice Japanese Community Center. Cub Pack 824. Right. Will other Scouts please stand and identify your packs or troops?
Hello, I'm from Troop 719 at Florence.
We will now start with the tolling of Kansho followed by Sambujo and Hyobyaku-mon.
Kansho!
Mama, choo-choo train. Choo-choo train. Guys, humiliate. Mama.
joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon the Tathagata Shakyamuni to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon the Tathagatas of the 10 directions to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. Today, on this occasion of the 2026 Scout Sunday service, the members and friends of the Benediction Buddhist Temple have reverently come before Amida Buddha in tribute and appreciation for all those scouts that give their lives throughout their careers. Kansho. With deepest reverence and gratitude for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of the Buddha, we recite the name Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Padma Award scouts have all made Obutsudans. Other temple youths have also made Obutsudans. All the Obutsudans will be dedicated this morning by Reverend Kory. When we call your name, please come up and do Oshoku and sing you your Obutsudan. Cammy. Alice. Maya. Kai. Namaste, but Namaste cannot be here today. Patience. Brian. Hana. Sarah. Shiny. Nina. Leah. Kelly. Later in our course, we will be sewing altar cloth led by Temple Sewing Group.
Turn around. Face your Butsudan. I know some of you have your pictures of your loved ones there. There's actually many of you have pictures of your loved ones there. These Butsudans will watch over your shoulders. Make sure you're following the Buddha's path and trying to keep your mind pure. So Kansho. When you have together, please. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Bow. Thank you very much, everyone. Good job, please.
We will now have the chanting Sambujo led by Reverend Kory. We will continue the morning service with the golden chain, which is on page 6 of the brown service book. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Next we'll sing the Gatha, Buddha Loves You, which is on page 33 of the brown book. The organ will be played by Leah Matsubayashi of Church 33 Please stand and continue to stand for the reading of Saint Pierre Mon and the three treasures.
Ate Matsuran. The three treasures. Art is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is that we shall be free from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I put my faith in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of thy way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves thy supreme will. I put my faith in Dharma. May we all together cease to merge in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom to meet us the ocean. I put my faith in Sutra. May we all together become its true accord in thy life of harmony, in a spirit of universal family, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of culprits, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Gatha's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Please be seated. Reverend Kory will now introduce our guest speaker.
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you to all you scouts. I hope you appreciate the path that you're on and the advantages or the lessons that you're learning from all of your scouting activities. It's a wonderful thing. I guess that you're all here today. But we have a special guest today. She comes from a really faraway place called Orange County. Actually, she actually booked something this weekend too, so she actually came here yesterday for our service from Orange County. Then went to Thousand Oaks for a seminar, and then drove back here, stayed at a hotel, and then is here today. So she might be a little tired. I know you're tired, but we're very fortunate to have her this weekend. That's how hard she's worked just to be here. Today's guest is Reverend Ellen Hamada Crane, or you could say Crane Sensei, Ellen Sensei. They're all signs of respect and appreciation. She's been a lifelong member of the Orange County Buddhist Church and is currently a volunteer minister there, or minister assistant. She has been married to her husband, Tom, for 44 years, and they have 3 grown sons, a daughter-in-law, and 1 grandchild. She graduated from UCLA with a BA in 1972 and received a law degree from Georgetown University in 1982. Her prior careers include teaching elementary school and teaching English in Japan, working as a criminal defense lawyer or attorney, and an active stay-at-home mom. She was ordained in 2014, certified in 2018. And during this time, we met each other at the Institute of Buddhist Studies in Berkeley for our master's degrees. Her current interests include pickleball, yoga, travel, cooking, gardening, reading, flower arranging, and Korean drama. So she could be with her grandchild today, like some people I know, or she could be watching her Korean dramas. So realize you take the priority. But we're very lucky and grateful to have Reverend Crane here, and so please give her your best attention. I know it's hard. It's been a long service, or it's already 10:20, but you're doing great. So thank you very much, and Reverend Crane.
We need to do a little bit of a setup since I haven't show and tell for you guys. Yeah. And then Kory's going to set up my projector on the screen. So I am very happy to be here. And, Reverend Kory asked me to be here this weekend. I didn't realize that today was going to be Scout Sunday, and I have a special affinity for scouting, as I was a very active Boy Scout mom with one of my sons. I myself was a brownie once upon a time, years ago, so I know a little bit about what that entails. I know the brownie program and Girl Scouts has really changed and developed since I was a little girl. So I think that it is a wonderful program, as is the Boy Scout program. I'm a big supporter of both boys and Girl Scouts. So to be here today is actually very special. Louder?
Move to another row. Here, here.
I don't know how to make this
We'll just move the mic closer to your.
closer.
It's actually
It's this thing right here.
here. I'll move.
Does that help?
It won't.
That won't help?
You have to.
Yell louder. Okay. First of all, while you're setting up, how many of you had breakfast this morning? I want everybody to say thank you to all the ladies and all the families that made breakfast. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. It was delicious, and really enjoyed that breakfast this morning. And I'll tell you, food always brings people together. So it's always a good reason to be here.
I know it's
We're getting there.
counterintuitive to move the screen or something. I figure down the side you can see a little better too.
All right, can everybody see that? Yeah. Okay, so we are here today at the Hamada Crane Buddhist Temple for Scout Sunday, and Reverend Kory told me that a couple years ago, we combined both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts together, so we have a nice big crowd. At our temple, we actually have them separate. So when he asked me to come today, I thought, oh, this is for Boy Scout Sunday, because today is Boy Scout Sunday, right? February 8th, that's today. But then yesterday, I found out, oh no, it's for the Girl Scouts too. So I did a little scrambling on my PowerPoint last night to make sure that we included the girls as well, because they're just as important. So, today we want to honor the founders of both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. The girls all know that Amy Gordon Bowe was the founder of the Girl Scouts in March 1912. And that's over 100 years ago. And Robert A. Powell, who became Lord Robert A. Powell, was the founder of Boy Scouts. And in my research and trying to find out some information about this, I found out that Leah was American, and she happened to be on a cruise ship or going from England to the United States, and she happened to meet Robert A. Powell. He was the one that inspired her to try and start the Girl Scouts. So the two of them knew each other, met each other, and because of that encounter, is one of the reasons why we have Girl Scouts also in the United States. So the two of them were tremendous leaders in the Scouting program, and we have a lot to thank them for. So one of the things that both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts have is something called the Scout Law. So let's look at the one for Girl Scouts. So all of you girls are familiar with this. Girl Scout law says, I will do my best to be honest and fair. You can say this with me too, if you know it. Friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, yet responsible for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others, set authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout. And those are really important values, a really good guide for how we want to be as Girl Scouts. On the Boy Scout side, we have the Scout Law. And Boy Scouts, you can repeat this too. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And then I found out it was really interesting that both the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts have a motto of what? Be fair. So I didn't realize, I knew that the Boy Scouts had that as a motto, but the Girl Scouts also. And then I heard somebody say the Cub Scout motto. So all of these are really important ways to think about how we want to be in the world. These are valuable lessons, valuable guides for each of us on how to be the best person you can be. And I really appreciate the Scouting program for building those kinds of values and those ideas in the Scouting program. So I would also say that the Buddhist way also is about thinking about how to be in the world, how to live your life. And this is all about seeking the way. Like Scouting, the Buddhist path is a guide to how to live a life with meaning, purpose, and depth. And we are all striving to do that, not only as Scouts, but as human beings. So I want to tell you about an adventure that I had last year in October and November. I went on a trip. And for me, it was a way for me to broaden and to expand my own personal path. And I want to share some of the things that I learned on my path of seeking the part of the Buddhist Churches of America and is the facilities director at the Jodo Shinshu Center, which is kind of the headquarters for the Buddhist Churches of America. And I've gotten to know Bob over the last maybe year and a half. He is a certified yoga therapist and teacher. He was certified by the government of India. He's one of very few yoga instructors in the United States that has that certification. He also has a connection to an ashram, which is kind of a community in India, where that's where he did his training and learned how to be a yoga teacher and instructor. But Bob also loves to travel. And one of the places that he loves to travel and to share with or about is India. Because of his yoga connection, he really loves showing people India. So 2 years ago, he took a group to southern India, and they traveled. There were about 25 people that went with him on that trip, and I didn't go on that trip, but I knew people who did. And they told me what a wonderful trip that was. So last year, he planned a trip to northern India, and this was going to be more of a spiritual trip. It was going to be touching on many of the religions of India, and so that's why he called this trip called Heart of India Spiritual Seekers Tour. So I'm kind of a spiritual person myself, and I thought, well, this sounds like a really once-in-a-lifetime experience, and so I agreed to sign up for it. I decided that we had to sign up a year in advance because he held monthly Zoom meetings with all the people that were going on this trip. So there were 23 of us who he decided that we were going to go, and he used that time to tell us about India, some of the things that we were going to be seeing, and to help us maneuver through the incredibly complex and frustrating bureaucracy of Indian administration, just trying to get visas and get tickets and all of the sort of requirements that you needed just to get into the country. And he was very patient, and he told us, if you are used to going to Japan where everything is efficient, clean, and everything is done the way it's supposed to, he says India is nothing like that. So it was definitely a lesson in patience and being, just keep trying and looking at that. So I'm going to show you a map of where we went in northern India. And so the middle 4 stars are where we kind of landed and concentrated in the first part of our trip. It was a 3-week trip. So we landed in Delhi, and we spent time in Agra and Jaipur and in a Ranthambore National Tiger Reserve. I'm really excited when I heard about this tiger reserve. I thought, oh, we're going to go see some tigers. We never saw that. we saw antelopes and deer and peacocks and some monkeys and some birds, but no tigers. And we ended up riding around in this reserve for hours and hours in the pouring rain and under the Jeep. So everybody got completely drenched, soaked, and we were freezing cold. But it was an adventure. And I always tell people the worst experiences always make the best stories. So I have a lot of good stories about that. So the other places we went to was Amritsar. We went to see a place called Holy Temple. I have so many pictures and so many things that I wanted to share with you. But I did this talk at Vista Buddhist Temple in December, and my talk was an hour. Then 2 weeks ago, I did this talk at Orange County Buddhist Church. I tried to cut it down, and it's still 40 minutes. So today, I'm going to just concentrate on the 2 pink stars. One is Dharma, and the other is Bodhaya. And I would say these are the Buddhist parts of the trip. two places that are deeply connected to Buddhism. So the first part is following the Shakyamuni Buddhist path. As many of you know, I know not everyone here is Buddhist, but I think most people are familiar with the historical Buddha. Shakyamuni, his name was Siddhartha Gautama. He was a prince in India 2,500 years ago. Then 2,500 years ago, a long, long time. And he was a real human being. In 1978, I actually went to his birthplace in Lumbini, which we sing sometimes the song Lumbini Garden. So in 1978, I actually went to Lumbini, which today is in parts of Nepal. It's in the southern part of Nepal, where back in the day that was all kind of part of India. So on this trip, I didn't go to Lumbini, it was too far to go, but we did go to Varanasi and to Kory, which are two cities that are intimately connected to the Buddha and how he traveled and how he taught and the people that he encountered. So some of what I'm going to tell you about today comes from this book, Old Path, White Clouds, written by Thich Nhat Hanh, who is probably the second most famous Buddhist in the world. Thich Nhat Hanh is a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who passed away not too long ago, but he was a tremendous spokesperson for Buddhism in the world. This form of Buddhism is just a Vietnamese Zen form of Buddhism. He was a prolific author, and he established several monasteries, one of which is in Escondido, California, called Deer Park. He also has another one in France called Plum Village, and then there's another one in, I think, in New England, and I'm not sure what the name of that is, but he has tremendous following, a wonderful representative of Buddhism. Anyway, he wrote, one of his many, many books was this book called Old Path, White Clouds. And what he did is he took the Shakyamuni Gautama Siddhartha story and he made it into like a novel, where he gave Siddhartha a character, a personality, and they were all the people that were part of his life. So I'm actually listening to this book now, an audiobook. And one of my friends, when I gave this talk at OCDC, said, oh, I want to get this book. And then she looked it up, and it's 600 pages. So I told her, well, maybe you should listen to it, an audiobook like me. But it's a fascinating story, and it humanizes the Gautama story. It tells about him, but I mean, it gives his imagination, because nobody really knows exactly what happened with his life, but there's a lot of documentation, and so he takes the facts, and then he creates the story of the Buddha's life. And so it goes from the time that he is a young prince all the way to the very end to his death. And it is wonderfully written, and I'm very much enjoying it, and there's a lot of Buddhism in it, obviously. So listening to this book really made me appreciate the places that the Buddha actually traveled to, which is part of what we did in Bodhgaya and Varanasi. So I'm going to share with you some of the places that I saw, and I'm going to do it in kind of the chronological order of how the Buddha did it, not the way I saw it. So the first place we went to was we headed to this mountain, which had a lot of monkeys on it, and they were everywhere. And this is, and maybe some of you know, the Buddha left his home. Well, he was Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha. He left his home at age 29. He was married, he had a new little baby. He was supposed to be the king of his little kingdom. And he decided I needed to go on a spiritual journey to find the way. And so he left, and for 6 years he searched. He went to teachers, he learned how to be in search. And at the end, after about 5.5 years, he decides he's going to become an ascetic. An ascetic is somebody who has a very severe practice. They barely eat. They really kind of sacrifice their bodies. And he went to this mountain and went into a cave. And we went to the cave where he spent 6 months. He was barely eating, he was meditating, he was concentrating and trying to find, how do I attain enlightenment? That's what he was trying to see. So in this cave, we went into it. There's a statue that kind of represents maybe what the Buddha might have looked like at that point. You can see he's very, very thin, you can see his ribs. And it's a small cave. I would say it's no bigger than maybe 10 by 10. And the opening is so low, you have to duck under to get in, the thinner you get into this cave. And it's dimly lit. And I was in there kind of at first with a lot of people from my group. We all waited in line to go into the cave, and it was kind of hot and stuffy. But then later on, we were still kind of in the area, and I went back into the cave. And this time it was just me and one other person. So the second time I went in, it was really cooler and quieter. And I just got this sense of imagining what the Buddha had been like sitting in this cave for 6 months, thinking about the way to become all human beings and to himself. And it was just kind of a magical moment there, knowing that 25 years ago, the Buddha had sat in this very cave. So that was a very moving moment for me. So the next photograph is of someplace called Sujata Stupa. And this was down by the river. There's a river from that mountain maybe about 3 miles away. And there was the Buddha at one point after 6 months decided this is not working. I have to give up being ascetic. I have to do something different. So he left the cave, went down to the river, and he found a banyan tree. And this is kind of a special banyan tree. I think a lot of the local natives really thought this banyan tree had spiritual powers. People would make offerings to it and make wishes, and so Buddha went down and just kind of happened to encounter the tree, and according to the story that Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, he collapsed there, and just because he was so emaciated and starving. And a young 13-year-old girl comes by who was going to make an offering to the tree with some food, and she encounters the Buddha. And in the story, she thinks, oh, the tree manifested this person for me to help because I have food here. So she gives the Buddha in this famous story of giving him some rice porridge to help him revive. And so at this place is where they built this, what they call Sujata Stupa. Sujata was the name of this young girl. And in Thich Nhat Hanh's story, she continues to help him recover, and so that he decides, I have to find another way to gain enlightenment. So she helps to nurse him back. So then he decides, I need to really think about what to do. And everybody knows about the story of the Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree and just meditating. After he's recovered his health, he now has the energy to think about his life, think about the life of all humans. So how do I find an answer to this question of human suffering? So everyone knows that he goes and sits under a tree, and it's a Bodhi tree. And today, this is not the original Bodhi tree. This is not a 2,500-year-old tree, but it's related. It's a third generation of the original tree that the Buddha sat under. And this is the location where he sat. So today they have a temple there, and it is called Bodhaya Buddhist Temple. And it's the site of the Buddha's awakening. So we sat under this tree with my group, and we all meditated to just think about this is where Buddha had been at that time. And this is where he had his great awakening. And this is such an important religious site for all Buddhists. So that was really important. And some of you know the story of Reverend Kory's Kory trees. So I want to tell you the backstory, and you probably have heard it already, but maybe some of you haven't. 3 years, no, maybe 4 years ago, one of my friends, who was the president of the Buddhist Temple, went on a spiritual media tour and came here to Ogaya. And while he was there, he picked up a Bodhi tree seed. According to Reverend Kory, it was just one pot, many seeds in one pot. He kind of snuck this seed, which he wasn't supposed to do, and he brought it back to the United States. And he took these seeds, and I guess there must have been 20 or 30 in this pot. He gave some of the seeds to the Huntington Library and told them where it came from. And then Ricky, my friend, also gave them to a nursery, and they propagated these trees. And according to Reverend Kory, these trees grow like crazy. I guess they're very prolific. And somehow Reverend Kory got a whole bunch of these trees, and he keeps propagating them. And he's got, I don't know, he's given away maybe 50 or 60 of these trees now since, I don't know, since 3 or 5 years, something like that, since he got the seeds. And I'm going to get a treat today. I'm doing a new garden, and I told Reverend Kory I want one more tree. So anyway, this is a very special tree because it came from Ogaya, and it came from the Ogaya Bodhi tree. So I think that's really special. All right, so next, I want to show you Sarnath. So the Buddha gets his enlightenment, you know, he thinks, I need to share this. It took him actually a while to decide, I need to share this story, this my awakening experience. He thought, who's going to believe me? Who's going to really understand? But he decided that he was going to share what he had uncovered, or what he had discovered. So then he goes to Sarnath, which is outside of Varanasi, and because when he was an ascetic, he was with 5 other monks who were also practicing asceticism. And he wanted to see these 5 monks first and to tell them what he had discovered. So Sarnath is the location where the first sermon of the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path was given. And then we call that the first turning of the wheel and of Dharma. So this is a really special place for us to see. So I did go to Kuchinagara, where the Buddha passed away at age 80. He comes to his awakening at age 35, and for 55 years, I'm trying to do the math, until he was age 80. He's talking and teaching and has many disciples. And so the Buddha's, his Buddhist message lasts for a long time. We have actually thousands of disciples who also want to learn the Buddhist way. Okay, so that is the story of Gautama Siddhartha. Next, I want to take you to Dharamsala, which is another very Buddhist place. But this is about Tibetan Buddhism. And some of you may or may not know, how many have heard of the Dalai Lama? Some of you have heard of the Dalai Lama. Thich Nhat Hanh is the second most famous Buddhist in the world. I'd say the Dalai Lama is the first most well-known Buddhist in the world. And he is a Tibetan Buddhist monk. He's the leader of what's called the Tibetan government in exile. So this big red map or country is Tibet, the country of Tibet, which was taken over by the Chinese. And what they try to do is to suppress the Tibetan people. And today they still are in control of Tibet. But in 1959, there was kind of an uprising by Tibetans, and it was severely crushed by the Chinese. So at that point, many Tibetans fled out of Tibet, Dalai Lama, who at that time was the head of one sect of Tibetan Buddhists, left also. And so he settled in Dharamsala, which is, you can see, just kind of over the border from Tibet. And he has this very large Tibetan community there in Dharamsala. So we went to Dharamsala, we flew into Amritsar, and then we took this torturous 8-hour journey from Amritsar up to Dharamsala, which is kind of in the foothills of the Himalayas. And so it's about a mile high, sort of like Denver, Colorado, I guess. It's 5,000 feet up in the air, and Dharamsala is a thriving Tibetan community, and we were in one particular suburb of Dharamsala called McLeod Inn, and it's very commercial, and you just see monks walking around, and you see monks on cell phones, and it looks a little weird to see them with modern devices, but they're shopping, but what is there is the Dalai Lama's temple, and it's called Cub Pack Temple, Butsu Ge Temple. So we actually went into this temple to see the Dalai Lama. So getting to see the Dalai Lama took a lot of effort on the Bob's part. It took about a year of contact with the government, the administration for the Dalai Lama. They needed all kinds of documentation from all of us, and Bob had to write a letter to the administration to say that the people that are in this group mostly are third-generation Japanese American, and the plight of their Issei grandparents is not too dissimilar from the plight of the Tibetans who had to flee Tibet. And they had to come to a new country, they left something when they came because there was maybe something better for them in another place. And so we got permission to have an audience with the Dalai Lama, and we were able to see him. So this is a kind of a younger picture of him. He is now 90. He's pretty frail. And they kept telling us, okay, you have an appointment, but depending on his health, you may or may not be able to see him. So we were kind of, up in the air whether we actually going to be able to see him. But the day came, and we did get to have an audience. So that particular day, I decided I had brought my robes. Somebody, in fact, we discussed it from this and said, take your robes, you should wear them. And so I did take my robes and I wore them. And then everyone in our group also had this long white scarf that is customary in this Tibetan religion. It's kind of a welcoming scarf that represents purity. So when we had arrived at a hotel in Dharamsala, we each received this white scarf. So everybody in our group is wearing our white scarves, and I had my white scarf, and I put my profession and my robe on, and we waited in this courtyard. It took a while, and we couldn't take any electronics, so we couldn't take any photos. We couldn't take our phones. A lot of times we had to take watches off, nothing in our pockets, and we just went in to see him. So we lined up in this courtyard in kind of a big circle, and one by one they brought him out in a golf cart. He was there with the attendants, and they placed him on a shaded porch. And then two uniformed Indian soldiers came out with machine guns. And they were on either side of him on the porch. And then he was kind of surrounded by a lot of attendants, people, different monks that were in their monk robes. And then one by one, we were allowed to come before him. And even though he never said anything, he engaged with every single person that came before him. He had this incredibly kind demeanor. His face was kind of showy. He touched everyone's hands. Sometimes he touched time with every single person. There were probably 75 of us in this group. And one by one, we were able to go be right in front of him. And I had seen him in California a couple of times, maybe 10, 15 years ago. And at the time that I saw them, they were both in huge venues. One was the Brent Center at UCI campus, another was at the Long Beach Convention Center. And I remember at those times, he was much younger, he was very, very affable, very lively, very funny. And going to see him was like going to a rock concert. Traffic, there was all this excitement, and thousands of people all lining up to go and see him. This was a much different experience. It was so quiet and so peaceful. And we were in his temple, and it was a beautiful day. And so finally my turn comes to be right in front of him, and he's holding my hands, and he's touching my face. And then I take off my wakasa, and I folded it up, and I said, I would like to give His Holiness my wakasa. And even before I had time to say that, he grabs my wakasa and then throws it over his shoulders, and he's got this giant smile on his face. And so I told his interpreter, there was an interpreter right next to him, just talking to him, and I told him, this wakasa that I gave him represents 125 years of Shin Buddhism in America. Because the wakasa that I gave him was given to me last year when we celebrated 125-year anniversary from Shin Buddhism coming to North America. The first priest from Hometown from Japan in 1899. So last year we made a special wakasa for that occasion, and that's the one I took. I wasn't expecting to give it to him. I just thought at the moment this would be kind of a nice gesture to give something that represents Buddhism in America. And so he put it on. And there he is wearing it, and I know that it wasn't exactly in the right position, but I didn't think I was allowed to touch it. So I did, and I just kind of let him, leave it the way it was. But he seemed really happy, and he was so glad that I was able to do that. It was a brief moment, but it reinforced for me the fact that we're both dedicated to spreading the Dharma. He spent his whole life, he was 90 years old, and that's what he has been doing his entire life. So for me, that was very inspirational, and I really appreciate the fact that I can see him, and I don't know how much longer he may be alive, but it's a rare opportunity. So I have a few kind of takeaways from my trip to India, and I wanted to share a few of what I learned from that experience. So I decided, came to the conclusion India is a very complex, rich, at times very difficult and fascinating country. And though it was a brief spiritual encounter, I was able to come in touch with 5 different religions. It was an eye-opening experience to another world that was very, very different from mine. And I have tremendous gratitude for the people who put all of this together. And we talked about causes and conditions and how it interrelated, and that was just a perfect example of that. What was most special for me is that it opened my Buddhist path. It really meant a lot to me to go to the Buddhist sites and encounter the Dalai Lama. And then I really liked the people that I went and traveled with. We were together for 3 weeks, and they were just wonderful. And I was really happy that I was able to share Bob and Rahul, who was our guide. They really shared the love of India with us in a way that was very, very special. And then a few kind of funny things that I learned is that the old people at paper and better for scouts, we always had Indian food, and we tried to meet as many people as we could, and everyone we visited was very, very nice, except for the people who were trying to always sell us something in their own way. Driving was crazy there, and I'm so glad that we had wonderful drivers. And I learned how to be very flexible. One thing I should mention is that they have McDonald's there, but there's no such thing as a beef hamburger in India because they do not eat beef. The cow is sacred, and so if you go to McDonald's, you get chicken, you can get fish, and then they have something called a clear burger. It's kind of like a cheese sandwich. Clear is a kind of an Indian cheese. So I had to go to McDonald's to see, what they offered, and you won't see a hamburger anywhere in the country. So what this, to kind of come full circle back to what the Scouts do with the law and, things that you all try to learn with your scouting program, I thought, what if we had a Buddhist law? What are some of the characteristics and things that we might put in a Buddhist law? And so these are my ideas, and I think I would challenge you to make your own law, or not just a Buddhist law, but maybe for yourself. Things that you think are really important guides for how you want to live your life. The Scouts really provide a lot of good guidance. Buddhist teachings also provide good guides. And this is what I came up with. So a Buddhist law might include something like this: being mindful, aware, honest, humble, generous, kind, curious, caring, open, courageous, gentle, and grateful. For me, this would be my Buddhist law that I'm sharing with you today. Please join me in Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. And I'll share just one last picture of some very cute Tibetan children. We went to something called Tibetan Children's Village, and these are some pictures. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Crane, for your message. Now we will have the reading of Roku Haramitsu and the 6 Paramitas, which are on pages 4 and 5 of the Brown Service Book. Please stand.
Roku Haramitsu、日本仏様の御心に立ち返らせていただいて、一つよう一日清らかなままと温かいなせて、つつましながらま愛をで暮らしましょう。一つよう一日体を立てますまい。一つよう一日不平不足不相をしますまい。一つよう一日私の仕事に全身全霊をで尽くさせていただきましょう。一つ今日一日夜昼常に私を守るもの御仏のご恩を喜ばせていただきましょう。一つ今日一日ナモアミダ仏を唱えさせていただきましょう。6 Paramitas. Turning our thoughts to the Buddha, let us throughout the day live with clear eyes, warm hearts, and humble attitude. Let us throughout the day not become angry. Let us throughout the day not utter words of discontent,
dissatisfaction, and untruth. Let us throughout the day do our daily work with all our power. Let us throughout the day rejoice in the love and compassion of the Buddha, who is constantly watching over us day and night. Let us throughout the day repeat the holy name, Namo Amida Butsu. Promise, the Buddha is our eternal Father and Mother. The Buddha always keeps watch over us. We promise to listen to the teachings of the Buddha and perfect ourselves by following the Buddha's ideals. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Please be seated. We will now have the installation of officers for the Adult Buddhist Association for 2026.
Hello everybody, my name is Mike Hamada, I'm the incoming Adult Buddhist Association president, and I'd like to introduce the award. So when I call your name, could you please come up and show and say you want to stand up? Yes, and then just stay up. So treasurers, Tomoko Buddha. With all and Joyce and Amor. Recording secretary, Tanya. For membership, we have Shinobu Koda. Shinobu had to leave. She had another appointment, but I am Asada. Our poetry chair people are Judy Nala, she's here, and Barbara Fuji.
Ryan, you want to join APA? It's okay. They'll take you. They'll take you. Yeah, see?
And our IT wizard, Ranji.
Aloha breakfast, anyone come to aloha breakfast? Or udon night, steak feast. they can always use more help, but their dedication and hard work, and above a lot of other things, is very important. Okay, we're gonna teach you around please.
Yeah, right?
So now that they've seen your faces, you no backing out. Right? You, the newly elected officers of the 2026 Venice Honganji Buddhist Temple Adult Buddhist Association. In accepting the office, take upon yourselves certain responsibilities toward your Sangha and your temple. Are you ready to sacrifice? Continue to sacrifice some of your personal desires for the common good. Are you determined to do your part during your term in office in spreading the ideas of Buddhism by living a life of appreciation and gratitude? Also realizing the ideal of the oneness of all life. Will you do these with all your might, without fear or favor, irrespective of class, color, and creed, and thereby help to lay the foundation stones upon which the future generations may build the universal Buddhist Sangha through which the teachings of the Buddha shall shine forevermore? If you are willing to take these responsibilities upon your shoulders, please repeat the following affirmation. I take office in the VHBT Aula, realizing my responsibilities and determined to do all in my power to remember at all times the teaching of the Buddha. Namo Hamada Butsu. Namo Hamada Butsu. Namo Hamada Butsu. Okay, please turn around. I now present to you the 2026 Venice Honganji Buddhist Temple Adult Buddhist Association candidates.
Are there any announcements?
Good morning. I just wanted to have a reminder about two events that are coming up this month that are organized by our Dharma school. The first one is on Saturday, February 21st. It's our first kids club event of the year. It's going to have a theme of K-pop dynasty, and it goes from 4:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. The deadline to sign up will actually pass yesterday, but you can still join in if you'd like by signing up online. On the bulletin board downstairs, there's the address to sign up, to RSVP, and to bring a dish. And then the second event is on Sunday, February 22nd. It will be our annual pet memorial service. It will begin at 9:30 a.m. If you'd like to honor and remember your pets who have passed, then we have an in-person ceremony at the service. Or if you prefer to submit an online tribute to your pet, you can do so by sending an email to Ranji. Again, there's a flyer on the bulletin board downstairs with more information. Thank you.
We will conclude this morning with a farewell, which is on page 37 of the ground service book, followed by a reading of the Benediction. Please stand.
Thank you, teacher, for your help. Thank you,
Those who keep our standing close to the great change we call death, and for ocean, forth baptism, wisdom, mercy, and love. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha.